There's a lot in the media about nitrogen plasma at the moment. So what is AgeJet? You start to see all this looseness here. So we generally lose about 30% of our collagen in the first 5 years of menopause. People tend to start getting little breakouts and things in their 40s. And, a hormonal thing that you'd associate with teenagers. So you could have anything from life coaching to a facelift.
If you wanted to get like the perfect glowy skin, how would you go about that?
I'd start really simply with all my clients. So I always do a full consultation and just really try and draw out of them exactly what they're trying to achieve with their skin. What's their main concerns? Because I might look at somebody's skin and think, oh, that's what they need to be working on. But if they're not concerned with that, there's no point. It's about addressing that client's specific concern. So it's always about good home care. So I always recommend medical grade skincare. There's a big difference between medical grade skincare and cosmetic skincare. Cosmetic skincare is great, it looks nice, it smells really nice, and it's going to help to hydrate and smooth, but it's not going to make any physical changes to the skin because you're only really working on the top couple of layers. When you move to a medical grade skincare, you'll notice the skin change quite quickly, and it's because we're penetrating a lot deeper into the skin, so we can actually get right down to sort of the basal layer of the skin, which is that first living skin cell layer, and that's when you can start to make physical changes. So I'd recommend them a home care regime, because by doing something little every day, you're going to make big changes to the skin. Then I'd recommend a monthly facial. My go-to is always fire and ice. It's probably my most popular treatment here at the door, because it's the perfect combination of really sort of a clinical treatment but with a luxury facial feel. So they get the best of both worlds. They get to come in and relax, but they also get to see the results on their skin. So I kind of say to clients, think of me as your personal trainer. Do little workouts every day at home, but then come and see me once a month for your really good training session and get your skin into good skin health.
That's amazing. So what does fire and ice treat?
So you can treat absolutely everybody with fire and ice, which is why it's my go-to, because I can tweak little bits of it to make it suit that client's skin concerns or skin type and skin health. So we always do a peel, but it's a superficial peel, so there's no downtime. And then we always do lots of rejuvenating masks, serums, lots of massage. So you really kind of get the best of both worlds.
And then say for like older skin types, where do you start? If you're at an age where you're just coming into skincare, you don't know what to do with it, you've kind of neglected your skin. What do you do? Where do you start?
Well, prevention is definitely better than cure.
Yeah.
So the earlier you start, the better. I always encourage people really to just start with the basics sort of in their 20s and 30s. And then in their 40s is really where you start to see dramatic changes in the skin. So that's when you really need to be doing a little bit more maintenance and taking a little bit more care of the skin.
If there was one holy grail product that you had to give people, what would it be?
SPF is always the number one product that I would recommend to anybody. There's a lot of education around SPF now, so people know that they should be wearing it every day, whether it's winter or summer, and that's really important. But it's still trying to get that message across. People think if it's not hot, it's not summer, I don't need to be using SPF. But they're only thinking of UVB rays, which is, what we call the burning ray. Yeah. But UVA is around us all the time, whether it's sunny or not. And that's actually the aging ray. That's the one that is going to age your skin the fastest. So that SPF is always the most important product. One, for protecting your skin, maintaining it, but also helping to prevent any further damage. It will keep your skin looking younger for longer.
That's the dream.
I know, isn't it?
So if you've got an older skin type, what sort of changes do you notice after the age of 40?
I think, people are a lot more aware of menopause and perimenopausal symptoms now. It's big subject in the media, which is great. It used to be quite a taboo subject, whereas now I think everybody talks about it. And, you see a lot of changes on the skin. 3 key things that I tend to see with my clients when they start to go through these changes and what happens to your skin during menopause. So first of all, your cellular turnover, your natural cellular turnover slows down dramatically. So what that will mean is that your skin will get drier, more dehydrated. You'll start to see more sort of fine lines and wrinkles coming up on the skin, but you'll also get congestion. People tend to start getting little breakouts and things in their 40s, and that it can be quite confusing because you think, oh, that's more of a hormonal thing that you'd associate with teenagers, but unfortunately it is the hormones again, and they're just going through a different change, so you start to get those breakouts again. The second thing you'll notice is that the collagen production slows down a lot. So we generally lose about 30% of our collagen in the first 5 years of menopause. This has a huge effect on the skin. And it can be quite scary because it feels like it can actually happen overnight. You can look in the mirror one day and you think, oh my gosh, where did it start going wrong? So you'll start to see more fine lines in the skin. You'll start to see what looks like dehydration lines, but it's actually your skin really just starting to lose that tension, that firmness in the skin. People tend to notice it getting a little bit loose around here, not quite so smooth anymore. Absolutely, the old gels. And you see a lot more open pores on the skin, and people think, oh, it's oiliness or breakouts. It's not. It's actually your skin just starting to lose that structure. That structure of the collagen is what keeps it strong underneath. And as that starts to break down and slow down, you don't have the same tightness, and that's why you start to see more open pores in the skin.
What would you say is kind of the most common skin concern that you see?
Oh, I mean, I see a real selection of everything, which is really nice for me, because you don't get bored of treating one skin type. So I would definitely say that, you know, I have a lot of women in their sort of late 30s, 40s and 50s that are really starting to see those dramatic changes. So I really try and specialise in menopausal skin. So really pigmentation, fine lines, wrinkles, so that general aginess and that dullness that you get to the skin, unfortunately, as we get a bit older. And again, that's due to the cellular turnover. Our skin's not exfoliating itself enough, so you have to give it a helping hand. And that's why it's really important to have that regular facial.
Yeah, definitely. So other than facials, what sort of treatments can you get that's like next
level?
Yeah,
absolutely. You know, your facials and your skincare is your basics. It's what you need for good skin health. When you have got your skin in a good healthy stage, anything else that you do is going to work a lot more effectively. So if you were going down the injectable routes, then your Botox and fillers are going to sit much better in the skin. You know, your skin will look much more glowy, and when the actual procedures take place, it will look a lot better. It will feel a bit easier. There's AgeJet, which is my new favourite treatment, and it's hot topic for my clients at the moment. We're the first people to have this specific machine in the UK, which is really exciting. So what is AgeJet? It's nitrogen plasma treatment.
What does that mean?
Okay. I know everybody's asking that. There's a lot in the media about nitrogen plasma at the moment. So what does it actually mean? So plasma energy is a real potent energy source, and we can use it to really help to tighten and remodel the skin. So what we do with AgeJet is we use a specific handpiece where we pass radio frequency current, or radio frequency energy, and we deliver it into the skin through pure nitrogen gas. So it just literally puffs it into the skin, and it feels very hot, but it's really comfortable. It's not an uncomfortable treatment to have. You don't need numbing cream. Amazing. So you can literally go straight in and do it. And what that energy in the skin is starting to do is really helping to stimulate your collagen and elastin production, and it causes a controlled trauma on the skin, or within the skin. And what that does is really sort of activate your body's natural response mechanism. So it really helps to just lay down new collagen fibers, which can take a little while. So it's the treatment that keeps giving. So you'll get an instant result, but then it will continue to improve over the next few months. So by increasing that collagen production, you get skin tightening, which everybody wants. So really great for this. I know. You start to see all this looseness here. So it will really help to tighten and smooth and give you that more chiseled jawline back. You're really starting to get that lift and that tighten there in the skin as well. So it's really great for that. But you also get a resurfacing effect from the treatment. So creating that plasma energy through the skin with the nitrogen, you're really, you kind of avoid damaging the top layer of the skin, but you still kill off one of the top layers of the skin, but you do it in a way that it's not ablative like it would be with a fractional laser or something like that. So you don't have the same downtime. So you get a resurfacing. So after a few days, you'll actually shed, which is great. And it just reveals this beautiful new skin. So you get this lovely kind of glowy texture to the skin. Everybody talks about glass skin. You see it a lot social. I mean, it is the dream, isn't it? Everybody wants this glassy looking skin. So it really helps you to achieve that. And then you also get the skin tightening from it. So it's great for that loss of elasticity, loss of firmness, but really great for sort of surfacing. So things like epidermal pigmentation, it will really help to clear the pigmentation. So really great. I've actually found it very effective on some of my rosacea clients, which I wasn't expecting to see that kind of response, but actually it's been really good for that. Really good for sort of fine lines, smoothing, just giving you that smoother, tighter, fresher looking skin.
That's so crazy, because rosacea is quite difficult to treat, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So to find something, wow. So how long roughly until you see the final result after a treatment? How many treatments do you have?
Well, I know. Well, this is the thing. A one-off treatment is fine. You'll get a little bit of a glowy skin, a little bit of a tightening, but really what you need to do is a course of treatments.
Yeah.
So depending on the skin type, the skin age, and the skin health, you generally need around 2 to 3 treatments, and I'd probably do them about 4 to 6 weeks apart. And doing them, as a course like that, you'll get a much, much better result. So I generally tend to go in with a more of a superficial treatment and do 3 of them closer together. Because you get minimal downtime. So after the treatment, you'll be quite red. You'll have these sort of red dots all over the face and the neck area. And then over the next 7 days, I generally say to clients, it's about 7 days of downtime, but it's not bad downtime. I still went to work, and you can put makeup on after 24 hours. But over the next few days, that redness will decrease. And then at about day 4 or 5, you'll tend to get some shedding. And by day 10, you're like, wow, my skin looks really glowy. And then by the end of that month, you'll be thinking, right, my skin is feeling much tighter, it's looking much smoother, the pores are improved. So it really takes a good 4 weeks to see a good result, but it will continuously improve over the next 4 to 6 months because you've generated that new collagen production, and it can take that long for it to actually be laid down.
So interesting what you say about as well making sure that the skin is well prepped for it and looked after, because that's kind of such a holistic way of looking at it, isn't it, rather than just
going straight in. Especially if you've got things like pigmentation, you really need to prep the skin so that you don't get any post-inflammatory pigmentation following the treatment. So I always recommend really strong vitamin C's to really help condition the skin. If they've got quite bad pigmentation, I'd probably put them on some kind of pigmentation products prior to the treatment to really help suppress the tyrosinase, which is what causes that additional pigmentation and colouring in the skin. So for me, I would never just go in and straight and do this on a new client. I want to make sure that I know that client's skin, that it's in good health, that they're using decent products at home, because all of that will contribute to, 1, it will give them a much better outcome. And 2, I know that the downtime afterwards is going to be much easier for them to recover from, much quicker.
Is there anything that you need to stop or change in your routine if you do want that?
Yes, and that's again why I wouldn't go straight in and do it on a new client. So you would want to stop things that are very active. So I wouldn't want anybody using retinols on the skin. At least a good few days before, if not a week before, to come off that retinol. If it was a much stronger retinol like a tretinoin, then I would want a bigger gap, about a 2-week break from it before you would do something like AgeJet. Acids, as long as they're sort of quite mild acids, they can really help prep the skin, but I would want them left for 48 hours before you actually do the AgeJet treatment, and you'll get a much better result.
Fantastic.
I'm going to do you soon. I had mine 4 weeks ago and I absolutely love the results. I'm going on holiday, and as soon as I come back, I'm going to have another one. Yeah.
Oh, it's so exciting. You see absolutely loads of stuff everywhere about retinols, different types of retinols. What is a retinol? What actually is it?
Retinol it's just one of the names for a type of vitamin A. And vitamin A is really, I suppose, it's known as the holy grail of anti-aging products in the industry. So when you're born, you're absolutely full of vitamin A. It's in over 1,000 different cells in your body. And it's what we call the cell normalizer. So it keeps your skin cells really nice and healthy. So babies are absolutely full of it. But unfortunately, as we get older, like all things, it really starts to decrease. So what we're trying to do is just put retinol back into the skin, and I think it's still the only thing that is scientifically proven to reverse and repair cell DNA damage, which is why it's so widely used in the aesthetics industry, because it can have really dramatic results by using it on a daily basis, but it's about using it correctly. Don't just buy one off the shelf. Make sure you get it from a medical practitioner, somebody that's seen your skin, looked at your skin. There's so many different types of retinol, so many different strengths. If you went in and used something, like, people don't think of a 1% if you're a consumer as being strong. It's really strong in the retinol world. I would generally start somebody off at like a 0.3% and ease them in. So I always say go slow with retinol. So do little and slow. Don't just introduce it really quickly, because you'll have issues. There'll be redness, there'll be peeling. You can have things like a retinoid reaction, which will just give you a bit of a rash. So people think they're allergic to the product, but you can't actually be allergic to it. It's just about introducing it slowly so that your skin gets used to processing it again.
Yeah, that's so interesting, because I remember when I first heard about it, the online kits that they come monthly.
Yeah.
I got one of those and I got really bad dermatitis.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
So
it happens a lot.
Yeah.
It happens a lot, because I think, people tend to be a bit more savvy now, and they do a lot of research on products and ingredients. But go to a trained practitioner. They've had years of experience and training in these things. It's not just what they've read on Google.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
You get the old Dr. Google that seems to know absolutely everything. Always try and get some professional advice.
So what makes sort of coming to the door different to other clinics?
Apart from it being amazing, it's, for me, I feel very grateful that I get to work here and I see my clients here. It's a beautiful setting. So the building itself, the rooms, the garden, it's absolutely stunning in here. So it's really state of the art. It's CQC registered, so it is the best quality care that you could possibly get in a place like this. We offer every kind of treatment and technology available here. So you could have anything from life coaching to a facelift and everything in between. So it's really nice to have absolutely everything under one roof. We've got a full surgical theatre, we've got a dental studio, we've got GPs, we've got life coaches, and then someone like myself, estheticians who are doing facials and things like that, and mesotherapy, all of the treatments in between. Because I think there's something for everybody. Not everybody wants to go down the injectable route or the technology-led route. So I try and offer sort of hands-on skin solutions for those clients.
Amazing.
And then for those clients that do want to have the injectables and the more ablative treatments, then we've got everything that they need right here.
It's such a holistic approach as well, isn't it? Because you're really thinking about all elements of the body which can contribute to the skin.
Definitely. Well-being for me is really important. I was talking about the changes that I see in my clients when they start to go through menopause. It's not just the skin. It's confidence, skin confidence, personal confidence, and how they feel, because it really changes the way they feel. So for me, that's just as important, treating somebody's confidence, as it is actually treating their skin.
It's beautiful in some ways. It's changing lives, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. You see young clients that come in and suffer with acne. I mean, the amount of anxiety that it can cause somebody, and to be able to help them with that, it's you get a lot of job satisfaction from it.